Hello, welcome back to Story Reckless. I'm Nathan. I am the DM here, and I use he/him pronouns. And we are playing some D&D tonight in Descent into Avernus. And yes, I think that's all I need to say right now as we go into other intros. So please take us away.
I'm Claire. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Kadam, half-elf, grave cleric, and werebore.
And my name continues to be, but is not guaranteed to always be, Olive. My pronouns continue to be, but not all are always guaranteed to be, she and they pronouns. And tonight I am continuing to play, but not guaranteed to always be playing, Calliope, Damal, Air Genasi, Artificer.
Hi, I'm Enyo, and I'm never going to change my name. Stuck with it forever. They, them. Playing... Well, oh my god, I keep hearing that little your caveats playing in my head now. Playing Pip, a satyr, artificer, alchemist, who has been on adventures.
Yes, indeed. Awesome. Well, with that, I think we can go into the recap and then jump right into it. We have a little bit here to cover. Last we left off, Kadam and Calliope, you had stolen the vial of blood from Archon the Cruel, ended up in Bel's Forge, where granted another task from Bel, managed to do some negotiation to get Mooncolor's freedom to go do this task, headed out to go do the task, and went for the Wandering Emporium to regroup and recover, to hopefully meet up with your companions. You went and met up with Bernie, were able to get a good rest and recovery there, and eventually decided that you were going to go and unleash Uldrak, since Valor and the Demon Grinder and Uldrak and Yonder all showed up. You were going to go give Uldrak the vial of Tiamat's blood on the outskirts of the Wandering Emporium to unleash Uldrak upon Elturel, which you did. And Uldrak gleefully spread the blood upon the ground, grew to his original form, and charged off naked into hell with his giant sword, excited to go cut some chains off of Elturel. You still were not entirely certain how you're going to regroup with Pip, but you had the Bel's task ahead of you when Yonder insisted that you tackle the Bleeding Citadel first, while Uldrak was creating an excellent distraction for Zariel, minimizing any chance that Zariel would intercept you en route to the Bleeding Citadel. You agreed, and were getting ready to make your way to the Bleeding Citadel.
I feel like a key point here was that Yonder persuaded us that we hadn't made an actual pact with Bel.
Right, yes, that is true.
Do we think that Bel would stoop to making pacts? You'd have to be a colossal fool in order to break your word to him, I think.
Oh.
Or to displease him.
Yeah, he just thinks that
Phenomenally unwise, that's the word.
that we're smart enough to not do that?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Well, yes, Yonder persuaded you that this was the case, and you agreed to head out towards the Bleeding Citadel. Meanwhile, Pip, last we saw you, I guess a day ago now, about 12 hours, something like that. Last we saw you, Pip, you were in Persistence, the infernal war machine. You had just activated the Orb of Dragonkind, seeing all of the dragons descending upon your companions across the valley. And you got the signal to activate the orb and activated it. And you watched as this flock of dragons, I believe it was... I think it was 4 dragons? Yeah.
Counting
4 dragons, yeah. As you watch 4 dragons roar and take off into the air and start flying in your direction. So, since Enyo, since you were out for a trip, and you are now coming back to this, I would like to know how Pip escapes this sudden surge of draconic forces descending upon you. They are a good distance away, but they are all rapidly approaching as you see them take off from across the valley at the bottom of this mesa and start to swoop in your direction, you sitting inside of Persistence. What is the plan?
So the plan initially is to just get them as far away from the party as possible. So Pip drives off and then has to keep on re-engaging the orb of dragonkind.
Yeah, okay. So much like what Kadam and Calliope saw from across the valley, just a plume of dust going in the opposite direction. From your point of view, Pip, you just gun it. And the Tormentor just Persistence going across this valley in the opposite direction of your companions, and you see those shapes of the dragons start to dive and get low to the ground as they swoop towards you quickly. You can keep just ahead of them as your vehicle speed is faster than their flying speed. So you can drive off as long as you want, continuing to focus on that orb and reactivating it. I think maybe, in fact, you even see like some of them start to falter and like almost pull away, and then you reactivate it, and like a magnet, they get pulled back in your direction.
I just read that apparently it's normally about 10 inches in diameter, and when it's used, it grows to about 20 inches in diameter.
Oh,
and mist swirls inside of it, which is a very strange thing to include in an artifact description. I don't know why they did that, but that's what they have.
So you just basically have like a very large, like one of those inflatable beach balls, just like sitting in the passenger seat next to you. Yeah, buckled in like a baby, and you keep placing your hand on it to keep activating it.
You're like, oh, it's shrinking. Hold on.
Yeah. So, you are driving out across hell. You can do this, or as long as you have fuel. What happens next as you continue to see this flock just following you as you're winding your way through broken landscapes and long lost battlefields?
Pip is definitely doing some fancy Canyonlands maneuvers, tries to find places where it's sort of difficult for the dragons to actually follow. It's like, okay, we're going to take an obstacle course now. Test out your flying skills and my driving skills. Let's see what this baby can do.
Go in through some slot canyons that are just wide enough for Persistence. The vehicle itself at times grinding up against the walls as you cut through these canyons. You can hear the screeches and roars sort of bouncing off the canyon walls as they try to follow. It will not take you long to break line of sight and just hear the kind of reverberating sounds of the dragons around you as you were driving through these canyons.
I think after it seems like it is safe to start moving back, or the party has had enough time to do what it is that they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Pip kind of heads back out into the open space and sees, Zariel's fortress is still coming up onto us, right?
It's been around. You've been kind of like hearing it in the distance. Every once in a while you've seen its like ominous shape far off in the distance. I'll tell you what. We're not. Go ahead and make a perception roll, and we'll see if you manage to catch sight of it.
Come on, Pip.
Okay.
Come on, Pip. So some
That's
chaos.
a 15.
A 15. Nice. Yes. I'm gonna say with the 15, you see the black obsidian knife-like shape gliding across the landscape. Probably, if you were to guess, like 5 miles off on the towards the horizon. Dust kind of billowing up behind it, red lightning periodically shooting down from around it.
I think, yeah, so Pip is going to just, like, in for a penny, in for a pound, just floor it.
Oh my god,
in the
okay.
direction of the fortress.
Okay,
Oh
so
my god.
you go driving off in the direction of the fortress just as you hear another screech from behind you. And you see coasting up over the rocky crags of the canyon that you just left, the 4 dragons all kind of spread out and starting to converge on you. And the fortress starts to rapidly approach. It looks as though it has encountered some sort of small contingent of, you would only surmise probably demons, because there is like a writhing mass of forces kind of fleeing in front of the fortress itself like ants, and you see those bolts of red lightning periodically just incinerating troops below it. You even see some like smoky, fiery, like missile-like objects kind of twirl out and detonating out in front of the fortress as it moves, but it is fast approaching as the dragons behind you follow. What's the plan?
Pip is going to just use a detect thoughts on the nearest dragon.
Okay, yeah. How far is the range on detect thoughts?
Oh shoot! Actually, you know what? That's a good point.
You want to be within detect thoughts range.
I really don't. Yeah. But I figure you know what? I really don't want to be within detect thoughts range.
What is detect thoughts range?
I think it's 30.
Yeah. It might be a little close.
Yeah, a little close. In my head, I was like, it's 200. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. So Pip is just going to have a conversation with an imaginary dragon in her head about that.
Okay.
About things. But
you do hear in your head, "Oh, I like this," as Gargal's voice kind of trickles into your mind.
And what do you like about it?
It's exciting. And you're moving right towards Zariel's fortress. That's very exciting.
See, I told you if you stuck with me, you would see like really exciting and terrifying things. I mean, what would Mordenkainen do? You'd be kept in some dusty bookshelf. It'd be boring.
Perhaps. You hear another roar from behind you as the dragons try to pursue.
Okay. Pip is going to... Well, I guess it'd be a lot easier if I were in a demon grinder for this bit, but is going to just try and zig and zag through the hordes of demons and just, this thing is floating, right?
The fortress, yes. So if you kind of imagine like a sword blade, right? It is moving through the landscape, and in front of it is kind of the horde of demons that are trying to flee from it as it seems to be firing magic and projectiles down into the fleeing horde. So if you were to drive through the demon horde, you'd be kind of going in front of the fortress through, like, in its path of travel. Like, if the demons were a wake of water, you would be going into the wake.
Okay, so part of me really, really wants to just drive straight into it. And the fact that you made me roll one thing at least makes me just.
Yeah, we're getting it. Yeah, we're getting it.
Yeah, Pip is just going to just be like, oh, not today, and go cut across to the side and just cuts across the wake.
Okay.
And comes from behind.
So
underneath.
So if the wake is kind of like this and the fortress is here, is Pip kind of doing that kind of thing, like almost like doing the arc of the wake, or are you like?
It's like surfing.
Yeah, it's surfing. It's surfing.
Was that what you were imagining? Kind of like that, like you're kind of cutting out just in front of the fortress and then going back, or was it different?
Okay. What I'm imagining is Pip just cuts out of the stream of demons.
Okay.
Just breaks out of the stream, like to the side where it's moving forward, comes around, and then shoots right underneath the fortress.
Okay, yeah. So
to the wake.
So you're kind of almost going out in front of the wave and then right down through the middle under the fortress. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Incredible. Oh boy. Oh man, I want to. I feel like
it's called
this has
Sorry
to
Reckless.
I know. I feel like this has to have
Yeah.
one more roll. This is so dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, like, this is like a vehicle driving roll. It's like dexterity. It's a dexterity roll, and if you're proficient with vehicles, you can add your proficiency bonus. Which I don't know if, I think we had established Pip wasn't, so.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. So it's just a straight dex roll to see how well you can do this.
Okay. That's fine. You know, sometimes you wipe out. Straight dex roll. Cool. This is great. Hello, dexterity roll. Can you just give me a... Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna... Oh, holy shit, I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, shit. Hell yes. Okay, amazing. Okay. Yeah.
My
Pip.
dex is +1.
Pip. What? I don't. I think I can turn this back to you. So I'm gonna kind of set this up. So you see this horde of demons all kind of parting in front of Zariel's fortress. You cut to the right to sort of bank out in front of the horde. Do a sharp left, kicking up dust, and now we see as the demon grinder slides into view, straight up in front of it, the front of the blade of Zariel's fortress. You now see there are like multiple what look to be like some kind of arcane like cannons or something that are firing off these magical bolts or slamming it down into this horde, and charging towards you like the stampede in like Lion King is just a mass of horrible creatures just charging, and you are there right in front of them, and you hear from behind you as the 4 dragons are still being pulled by the orb itself into this chaos, but you have a straight shot through the demons to go directly under Zariel's fortress. What happens next? What do we see here in this moment?
Okay, so I think at the moment that Pip drives underneath Zariel's fortress, she disengages the orb of dragon kind.
Awesome. So releases that, the orb shrinks back down. And you start flooring it into the horde of demons, and you just start to see bits and pieces of demon flying off the front of the demon grinder as you are inside of it, or not the demon grinder, the persistence. You're just inside of it, just going like as you're just riding through this mass of demons, explosions going off all around you. Do you want to describe the final moments as you cut directly under her fortress with the dragons in hot pursuit?
You know what? For good measure, Pip is so keyed in with adrenaline and is just absolutely surfing this wave of demons. And it doesn't mean a single thing, but it's mentally harassing the dragons to like, whoa, just fuck it all up, come on.
Yeah, I think maybe this is just before you disengage the orb. You are releasing these thoughts, releasing these energies, and I think it's able to somehow get through, and you hear multiple roars of fury from behind you, and you catch just over your shoulder as you kind of punch through the last line of demons, and you are now directly under Zariel's fortress. And over your shoulder, you see those 4 dragons let out a furious roar and start diving to try to catch up with you right as you let go of the orb. You see all of the dragons diving to go towards you, and suddenly the one in the lead almost snaps out of it and like reels back, wings kicking up dust and demon parts, as Zariel's fortress above you lets out a mighty just reverberating. It is ringing your head, but with the chaos that is happening, you manage to go straight under the fortress, seeing above you this like multiple burning circular exhaust ports that are just glowing with hot infernal red, just and if you thought the demon grinders made a horrible sound of like screaming souls and grinding and roaring engine, it is 10 times worse under this ginormous fortress. It is hard to comprehend the amount of voices that are mixing in with mechanical grinding that is just screaming and roaring above you as you right under. You also, in that final moment, you catch that on the front edge blade of the fortress, you realize that it's kind of moving, and that there are multiple shapes that seem to be pinned to the front of the blade, just pinned to the blade itself, screaming in agony. And you swear you can see somewhere close to the top a familiar shape that looks to be that of Razala, chained and pinned to the fortress itself as you shoot under it. Taking off after behind the fortress, you see like the whole thing is starting to light up and blaring alarms are going off. You're seeing little like ports opening and flying things just starting to spill out. You see some lower ports starting to you see what look to be smaller vehicles kind of coming out onto little platforms. But you take off, and just as you see like 2 of those smaller motorbike-like vehicles shoot off and then start to plummet towards the ground, at the last second some sort of magical feather fall like energy catches them as they glide down and land in the dust in behind you in hot pursuit. Worried that they're going to catch up with you, you suddenly see a massive shape of one of the dragons kind of slam into the ground and tumble, kicking up dust. The vehicle's having to swerve out of the way as this dragon is fighting off numerous demons clinging to its back, trying to squirm and get out of this chaos. And Pip, you were able to just take off away from the madness and battle behind you, hearing roars and screams and explosions. But it continues to get quieter and quieter in the distance. Until eventually you find yourself back in the chaotic maze of canyons and the sound becomes dim in the distance.
Pip just raises her foot a little bit off of the accelerator, just eases a little bit, and is just, well, was that enough pain and chaos for you, Mags?
You feel like a contented sigh just sort of course through your body, and you almost feel your muscles themselves like relaxing, like even though that may not be like how you are physically feeling, it's like
Tensed up and relaxed.
Yeah, there's just this sudden like, yeah, I mean, it's almost like a chemical release that you just suddenly are like, ugh, like feel this contented relaxation course over you.
Okay, I'm alive. Everything okay. Persistence is good. I think Pip gets out and just double checks, like puts on the windshield wipers, like.
There is just a Pollock-esque spattering of black demon ichor just spraying across the bottom of the vehicle, and on the
better
windshield.
Collect that.
You certainly can. There's even like, you see just some like little limbs, almost insectoid like, just like twitching in the kind of in the wheel wells and stuck up in the axle. But yeah, it seems that Persistence made it out okay, no damage.
Great. Okay. Okay. We're good. Gargouth. And I have the monkey finger. Or I have the finger.
Yeah, it's still there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, good. Okay. We are going...
Oh, wait, that's right. You don't have the finger.
No,
Valor has the finger. You have Gargouth.
I have Gargouth,
yeah.
Right. Okay, Gargouth. Compass time. I'm gonna put Gargouth up on the dash. Or actually, lean Gargouth, buckle Gargouth in next, on top of the demon orb.
Just a stack of artifacts.
And where's the infernal tack? Is that just like...
That's the seat. That's upholstery.
Yes, exactly.
You just have a 3 stack of legendary artifacts just sitting there. Yeah, Gargouth. Yes, fine. Where are we going?
You say yes, fine, as if we didn't just run underneath Zariel's fortress. Hey, you have to tell me that was a really incredible. And you had to keep an eye out because I was looking straight ahead. And up once, briefly.
It was... I would be lying if I said I wasn't impressed. It was... very good work.
Yeah, I'll take it. We'll go to the Wandering Emporium. We'll get you something nice, whatever a shield likes.
I mean, get me out of the shield.
We'll work on it.
Yes, okay, let's go. And he starts to guide you back in the direction of the Emporium. Much like everything here, nothing is quick or straightforward. You have to drive through numerous strange landscapes over many hours to try and make your way back towards the Emporium.
Oh, Pip is going to use the Orb of Dragonkind to send a message to Kidom.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
I also just double checked it's not sending, it's scrying that it can
Oh,
do.
it's scrying.
Oh,
so you
it's
cannot do
scrying.
sending.
Okay. I do have sending stones still.
That only unfortunately
Only works with
the
right.
one it's connected to. Yeah.
Never mind then. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, you start to drive back. You continue through the landscape. At times you come up onto ridges and you can see the winding river Styx far off in the distance with distant flashes of light and dust as you see raging battles taking place far off. But eventually, with a bit of time, you come into an area of almost a large plain of ash and broken bone and weaponry. The ground itself is a thick, dark black ash that's sort of kicking up and coating to everything. The now very dry Demon Ichor, although does Demon Ichor actually dry? I don't think it does. So whatever clumps of goo are still there are now just starting to become like linty, ashy globs of goo. After a short period, you see a lake of lava approaching you. And on the kind of banks of this lake of lava, you see the familiar horseshoe shape of a collection of vehicles that make up the Wandering Emporium that have set up here in this location. But before you are able to even get very close to this arrangement of vehicles, it's still probably a mile away or so, you spot a significant amount of movement and dust off to one side. You see a huge cloud of dust billowing, probably a quarter mile from the Wandering Emporium itself. And you swear you can see almost like obscured shapes moving within the dust, dark shadows, something large and massive. Within a short period of time, something massive bursts forth from the dust cloud. And you see a truly enormous humanoid man, sort of blue-gray skin, wielding a familiar gigantic sword that you once saw chained to the top of the demon grinder. And this man is completely naked, has a massive smile on his face, and is sprinting just full tilt in a direction, totally naked. Just running in a direction away from this huge dust cloud, off to who knows where. What do you do, Pip?
Wait.
You wave. This individual does not seem to be taking notice of much of anything around him, and he is just going.
Mm-hmm. They did it. Well, there's no point. Well, good. See, Uldrak got out. Surely you can get out too.
Well, you all made quite an effort to get Uldrak out, and you haven't done any of that for me.
We talked about it briefly.
You were so ready when you met Uldrak to just help him right away, get him out. Doesn't matter.
We'll find somebody. We'll find somebody. I'm sure Mordenkainen will be so excited to have the chance again. But it looks like we are going in the right direction. I'm guessing they are over there in the Wandering Emporium. Hopefully. I guess I could scry. Oh, you can't take the wheel. You don't have hands.
Oh no. Why don't you see what happens? Go full speed. I'll make sure you'll be just fine.
Can't possibly be any more dangerous than what we just did. We're just gonna do that.
Okay. You are just gonna kind of put it into
I'm
cruise
gonna
control and
drive with the knees and scry. It's just like texting while driving.
Okay. Yeah. So who are you scrying on?
Kadam.
Okay. So
Just to make sure. I think Kadam is the safest.
yeah. So you look into the sphere on your lap as you try to keep the vehicle moving with your knees guiding the vehicle. I'm just gonna say it goes through, or
Well, I don't know it's happening, right?
it's up to, yeah, I guess it's up to you. Yeah, that's the weird thing about scry. I think it says that a creature can choose to fail, but like, how do you know if it's happening?
I think it specifies if the creature knows it's happening.
If the creature knows it's happening. Okay, then yeah.
It's like
So
you don't have like scrying caller ID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, you don't
you
know
also-
it's happening. So
I have like some minor penalty to it because Pip is so familiar with me, though.
oh yeah, it's probably like a
Here it
negative
is.
5.
Body part, lock of hair, bit of nail or the like for -10 to the save.
Do you have one of?
I mean, you are familiar with me, which is a -5.
Do you have a piece of Kadam?
Possession or garment also works.
Possession or
Oh.
garment, yeah.
I mean,
this is where I've been
this is
spending all
it.
my time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's just like a scarf or something in persistence, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
So -10 to whatever you roll.
So -9 to my save. So that's a 15.
I don't know what the orb has. That actually might be the
I-
orb.
Yeah.
Isn't there like an 18 or something?
Oh, is it? That would be nice. For a legendary artifact, you'd hope so, but sometimes they're like,
Yeah, its
Surprising.
suggestion is DC 18.
okay.
Okay. Well,
So it's an 18?
I mean, this
believe
doesn't
so.
even need to.
Okay,
This is
great.
much more than I meant.
Then yeah, so it goes through, and Pip, you see Kadam inside of the demon grind, or what's happening, Kadam?
I mean, if
Yeah,
Oldrock's
is
running,
just, yeah.
I'm outside with Valor, Lulu, and Calliope.
Then,
You might be able to see yourself from the scrying
well,
location.
I think what you do see is that Kadam is standing clearly in a very similar black ashen field that you're in, and is surrounded by dust. Like there's clearly a huge cloud of dust around them. So I think it would be pretty easy to put 2 and 2 together as to where exactly Kadam is.
Right. All right. Okay. Just making sure. I'm gonna head right in that direction, right from where Ultron came from.
Okay. Go driving
Slowing
off in that
down a bit.
direction. The rest of you, as you are bearing witness to what just happened, gathering yourselves and maybe starting to pile back into the demon grinder, you catch the sound approaching of another infernal war machine.
Hold up.
Getting closer. As the dust starts to sort of fade and blow away and dissipate into the air, you can see the shape of a tormentor approaching, a very familiar looking silhouette. And as it punches through the dust and pulls in next to the demon grinder, you see Persistence pulling up right next to Eltaron.
Running and waving.
Pip, you see Kadam running up towards Persistence.
Pip just pulls up. It parks the car like very showily so that it makes like a big kind of skid mark. It's like the prestidigitation, so it's like a shower of sparks. Bits of goo fly off.
You all see as Pip does a Tokyo drift slide into into this area. That Persistence is indeed pretty messy, covered in some ashy goo, and Pip is there, riding within.
Ah! Pip! Fantastic! Oh my goodness. What have you done to that
Wrench
machine?
open the door.
Wrench open
And
the
just
door. Yeah.
throw myself at her.
Kadam comes lunging in.
Pip is just like, I didn't do anything bad.
You're alive!
Yes, I'm alive. Oh, you're happy.
Yes, I'm happy! Oh, God, we were worried about you.
I wasn't. I knew you'd be fine.
Thank you. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I was fine. And, well, it was a story. And it's going to be a good story that I'm going to keep telling until finally one of these things does catch up with me. I see you released our big friend here.
Yeah, Old Rock's off to Elturel. Yonder wants us to go. I frankly agree with him. You all right? Everything all went all right?
Yeah, I mean, I would maybe if there's some sort of infernal car wash at the Wandering Emporium, but what, are we in a rush?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Why, what's happened since I've been gone?
I mean, that, gesturing at the naked man, is a limited duration distraction, I think. He's kind of speedy. You can't really slow him down.
Well, I've learned if I go fast enough, the goo will just fly on off.
Fantastic, love to hear it. Let's get on going.
Okay.
To the Bleeding Citadel.
Okay.
You know, I feel like it's been bleeding long enough that it should be like the Scabbed Citadel at this point.
To the
fact that
Clotted
it's
Citadel.
Still bleeding is cause for concern. Anyway.
Can't turn the cleric off, can you?
Well, that's more the healer. If someone ain't clotting, that's never good.
There's certainly a lot of blood to go around here. I saw Rosala.
You saw her?
Pinned
How
onto-
is she?
Ooh, not good. Not really not good. But that's the price you pay.
Well, that's
We
the
are-
price she pays, I guess. I did just in case, get this. Some Titan blood. In case we run into her again. Could free her. Just
Well, I know where she is.
Great. We can put that one on the list. We have a couple other tasks that have come up, but they can wait. Don't worry about them.
Okay, before we get in and head out, I just need to tell you real fast. I scried on you, Kadam, just to make sure that where you were. I want to be upfront about it.
Thank you, Pip. I appreciate that.
And also, you left your scarf in here.
That's all right. I give you permission to scry upon me in times of need.
All right. Better to ask forgiveness and then get permission later, I guess. That's a lesson I'm taking from this. Thank you so much, Kadam. I'm just joking. No, I promise I've learned.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna get in with Pip.
Okay.
Fantastic. Let's get this show on the road. Yonder, you ready?
Yes. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Let's get
Lead the way.
All right.
Let me take all these artifacts out of this other seat.
Oh, thank you. I don't know that Gargath would appreciate me sitting on him.
You might like it, I don't know.
You all get into your respective vehicles. Yonder sits there at the front of El Terrell, the demon grinder, closes his eyes once again and focuses and begins to point in a direction of Calliope. As you drive off, I'm assuming persistence following El Terrell, just off following Yonder's direction.
I'm gonna mark off 2 flasks of demon ichor just
Cool.
because it feels like
Yeah, that's
we can go for
appropriate.
it. Should we roll? Is there a roll about that?
For this one, I'm just gonna have you roll how long it takes. So let's just do the 2d12 to see how long it's gonna take you to get to
15.
15. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna be driving for a while as Yonder focuses and points and guides as you move towards the Citadel. Is there anything you all want to do during this drive? Okay. Kadam, we'll start with you.
After you fill Kidam in on what your experience was, if you're willing to share.
Oh yeah, it's an entire 15 hours. Are you kidding? Pip has props out and everything. It was just me, persistence, in the wide open hellscape of Avernus, and a flock of 4 angry dragons chasing me, and Gargouth and Mad Maggie backseat driving. But that's not what's important.
What?
I said that's not what's important. I floored it all the way to Zariel's looming fortress and sped underneath. Oh, you should have seen it. Dragons all trying to fly away, a couple crashed in midair, covered in demons.
That sounds very dramatic. But afterward, I will dig into my pack. I have something for you, Pip. Here. And I pull out a pair of enormous gold hoop earrings with carved rose quartz roses suspended into the center of them. And hand them over.
Pip pulls Kadam into a tight hug. I think just sort of
Who's
jumps.
driving?
Gargouth, of course.
You see, yeah, you see behind you, persistence goes.
Okay. Thank you. Grabs down. These are gorgeous. Where did you get these from?
Wandering Emporium.
Okay, so they're not legendary.
Not as far as I'm aware. They ain't magical.
Okay.
They're
But
just-
they are gorgeous.
I'm glad. They looked like you.
You're too sweet. How do you exist?
One day at a time.
What even is a day anymore?
Mm. One breath at a time.
Well, then how does Calliope exist? She doesn't even need to breathe.
Don't she breathe to talk, though? Like, I feel like she inhales when she's talking.
There is science to be done here.
Probably. I will leave the science up to you, though.
Thank you, Kadam. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to see you all again. And I, quite frankly, wasn't expecting hugs and hoop earrings upon my return.
Well, I weren't sure I was going to see you again either. I'm trying to make moments rather than let them come.
I understand that. I feel like I've been doing similar things, but the moments we make are very different.
That is true. I'm glad you're here right now, Pip.
Thank you for refusing to be my moral compass. It's not, it doesn't mean anything unless you decide to do it yourself, does it?
No, it don't.
Well, it's still a long way forward. We have a ways to go. I mean, both literally and metaphorically.
Metaphorically speaking, I don't know that ever changes.
Well, good. I'll just keep going until the road runs out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really all there is to it.
Calliope, you are driving up a bit of a incline and get kind of to the top of a ridge as yonder is sort of guiding you towards the left as you sort of skirt up on top of this ridge. As you come up over the top, you get this kind of incredible vista that suddenly opens up before you. You see down this rocky ravine down towards another valley further off towards the banks of the river Styx. Once again, you can see it winding past, and you see far enough away that you feel comfortable, but still close that it's kind of discomforting. A large mass, like an army, that is gathered at the banks of the Styx. You can see that hovering above it is a fortress. You don't suspect it's the one that's been pursuing you. It looks to be a slightly different design. You also notice that there are two of those forked-like towers that you now recognize as demon zappers, and there is bright light shimmering within each. And this massive army seems to be kind of marching and funneling into a point that's on the banks of the Styx. It looks like the Styx itself has almost been diverted in a way, like there's a structure that seems to have been built kind of going into the Styx. It looks like a huge kind of trench that's dug down into the landscape of Avernus, going down into the banks of the Styx, and eventually it is covered by like infernal iron, almost like a tunnel, and then disappears beneath the waves of the Styx. And this army is marching through this point down into the Styx. You can see like massive lakes and pools of ichor around this point, but this army itself is just slowly working its way into this trench tunnel. You even see some larger shapes within the army you suspect are probably infernal war machines that are just slowly keeping pace with the foot soldiers as they make their way down into this point. But it is a good distance off, and you're kind of angling away from it, but it is hard not to see it because it is such a huge mass of force that is gathered there.
Yonder, you know what that is? Are they walking into the Styx?
Yonder kind of opens his eyes for a moment and looks in the direction of the forces, and his eyes go wide. I'm not sure. Oh dear.
Yeah? They're leaving?
When I was with Zariel originally, Our plan was to find a way into the abyss. Take the war to the demons themselves. I know that the Styx has strange properties. It tends to flow through all the lower planes, and all of the demon incursions into the Avernus. They always seem to originate from the Styx. I wonder if Azariel has found a way to push into the abyss itself.
Ah, that's great. Fantastic. Good for her.
Yes, I guess she's actually doing it.
Nice. Well, she can do it without the help of Elturel.
Yes. I kind of closes his eyes and focuses again. At this point, Kadam and Pip, you and Persistence have, or both of you in Persistence have come up over this ridge as well and have started following the Demon Grinder, and you see off to your right that same scene stretching out before you. But, yeah, if you have nothing else,
Hey,
the
Valor,
journey
could you
continues.
take the wheel? I'm gonna go take a little bit of a rest, and there's some stuff I need to mess around with, I think.
Oh yes, of course. I just finished my rest. Let me take over. She jumps on and continues driving. Yeah, you all continue driving on. You can do your usual swap out if you want. Take your long rest as you drive. You can all go ahead and take a long rest. If you need to mark off that, get any spells back, any hit points.
How you feeling, Kadam?
So much better.
You also will all level up.
Yeah.
So, we could do that now if you want. You don't have to like pick anything if you need to like pick things for that, but trying to remember who's rolling. I know Claire rolls for hit points.
I think that's it.
Calliope, and then Calliope and Pip are doing average. Okay. Do you want to roll for your hit points real quick, Claire?
Sure, I like danger.
I'm in danger.
Ooh, 8.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, so is there anything else you all do on your drive there before we get to our next section?
My level up, if I can describe what it is.
Yeah.
Calliope has become a little bit paranoid about all this scrying nonsense and would like to know more about it. So has made some contact lenses and has popped them in to just like kind of permanently see invisible things. I am taking fighting initiate, blind fighting. So I just have blind sense to 10 feet all the time.
Very cool. And we have talked about it and have decided that we're going to enable Calliope's version of blind sense to kind of pick up on the subtle magical energies that like a scrying sensor would produce. However, if a creature becomes aware that Calliope
stuff can still hide from me.
Yes, they can still roll a spellcasting check against Calliope's passive perception to try to hide their sensor. So that's how we're going to rule that. But yes.
I think Calliope would like to come up with a code word with people.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, and like, because I can just like message the back. I kind of like I pop out like, or pop open like the back and just like message Persistence, like whoever's driving to like have a chat. It's like, kind of like,
yeah.
I want a code word for when we're scrying. Over.
Miss Pickles.
I miss Pickles. Got it. If I say that, something's watching us. So just know that.
Sounds good.
I know that you said I miss Pickles. but because of sometimes the nature of the compression of the audio, it almost sounded like you said, "I am Miss Pickles." like I'm Miss Pickles.
Here
Either-
I am,
Yeah.
changing genders in hell.
Yeah. I'm Miss Pickles. Oh my god. All right. Anything
I
else?
have produced an experimental elixir of flight.
Oh. That's
Ooh.
that's the one that lets you kind of like, it's like you can fly 10 feet around or something, right?
Yeah, flying speed at 10 feet for 10 minutes. But I also have a trait, the restorative reagents. Whenever a creature drinks an experimental elixir you created, the creature gains temporary hit points equal to 2d6 plus 4.
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
that's very helpful.
So
Yeah.
even if they drink the potion of flight, they get
Yes.
That's great. Okay.
Indeed.
And I'm gonna take skill expert
Okay.
and increase my strength by 1 because I am a strong and burly werebore now. Take perception proficiency and persuasion expertise.
Awesome. What does that put your default strength at? 11?
12.
12?
12.
Wow, you get a plus
Plus
one. Do you have a negative stat still or no?
I never have.
Oh, you never had? Okay, Kadam always had a. Okay.
It's been
Nice.
it was a bunch of
-2.
plus zeros.
Yeah, wait, yeah, Calliope, you have a -2 in strength?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
6 strength.
Oh my god, that's amazing. And then did.
I have -1.
Valor
so
is
strong.
the strongest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
She opens
also-
a lot of jars.
Yes, she does. Speaking of pickles,
Yeah.
I'm also going to pray to Sehanine first to apologize for wildly misinterpreting them earlier. And then also just like I'm here. I think we're on track. Reassurance would be lovely. How's my dad? If that's his dad, have they taken Dad on a journey? I don't even know if Dad would go to them because they're kind of elven focused. But
for this one, your connection with Sehanine is brief. It's a sense of a warm embrace, and when you close your eyes, you just see for a moment sort of the image of the owl face, which fades as soon as you open your eyes. It's gone.
all right, I'm content with that.
If there's nothing else, the hours go by till eventually Yonder slowly opens his eyes as you start to approach you're approaching another kind of red, rocky, almost cliff face with a small canyon that looks like the vehicles would fit into. His eyes slowly open as he looks to you, Calliope. As the hours have now passed at this point, you've had your rest, kind of going through your, what would be like a normal morning routine. And he looks to you and Valor. We're very close now. And looks towards the slot canyon and points. Through there. The vehicles continue to drive, going into the darkness of the canyon. The walls towering overhead. This canyon rising up and up and up. It is massive. It feels as though the tops of it could be a mile or more high as you're driving through this space. You are in a very dim, almost dark-like space as you drive through this winding canyon. You see multiple splits branching off, but yonder is true and continues to guide you down a single path. You see up ahead, it seems to open up as you come around a corner, and almost within an instant, it opens into what looks to be almost like a massive crater, a caldera dried up. And down there at the bottom, surrounded by what looks to be black, writhing demon ichor, is a truly enormous, red, hardened, bleeding scab. A growth rising out of hell, doing everything in its power to pull down the alabaster celestial structure that is being held within. And you can just barely see at the top of this scab a glimmering dome of a tower. That's where we'll end this arc as you approach the Bleeding Citadel. Okay.
Dungeon crawl. I want to do a dungeon crawl.
That's where we're gonna end. So next week, we're actually gonna take a brief break. We're actually, unfortunately, we're kind of gonna be off for sort of 2 weeks. We'll still be streaming next week. Next week we're gonna do a post-mortem where we're just gonna hang out, answer any questions you might have, and just like talk. We haven't done one of these in a very, very long time. It's just a nice way to kind of talk about everything that's happened.
Have we done one in Avernus yet?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't remember the last one we did. It was probably back in Baldur's Gate. Did we do one after you left Baldur's Gate and all the like that craziness happened?
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we talked about Dessa.
Yeah, and oh yeah, right. Yeah, Disa with the
Disa, that was it.
execution. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I thought we did. Yeah. So it's been a really long time. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about the campaign so far. I might like reveal a couple things if it feels appropriate and it's not giving away too much. And then
No secrets.
yeah, and then the following week I'm gonna be out. So either Claire might stream, or we might just
Might do
take a break.
something?
Yeah. Well, it's no pressure, Claire. It's just-
Sure, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I can get my act together to refigure out OBS, that is specifically the thing that's in my way.
Oh, well, you could do the other the Twitch
I could
app. Didn't you do that
figure out
last
for the
time?
first time the Twitch streaming thing. That is
Okay.
also an option.
I thought you did that last time. That must have been Olive who did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of it.
Anyways, hopefully we'll see you next week for the postmortem. And then
Send
following...
us your questions.
Yes, if you
Where
do
can
have...
people send questions?
People can send their questions to Discord. I have already posted on Discord.
And if the link can go in chat.
I am working on the link as we speak.
It's also in our Twitch bio. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It is
Yes.
in our Twitch bio. Also...
you could also add, or you could comment on our Instagram posts or direct message us. You could email us at storyrecklessgames.gmail.com.
Have faith in people's ability to contact us if that is their heart's desire.
There are many ways
I believe
to get
in you.
contact with us.
You can do it, listener, dear
Do
listener.
it. You can do it.
This is an age of information and frictionless contact.
Yes. And
Contact is never frictionless.
and if
Technically, that's
you
true.
happen to be watching this and you are not following us already, please drop us a follow. Be wonderful.
Our self-esteem is tied to a number
That's
controlled by a
right.
corporation.
That's right.
Olive's is.
Mine is too.
It's also.
But yeah, I think that is everything. Oh man, we're getting into the next big section here. I'm probably gonna restart our title again. I kind of been trying to do that with each arc, but this arc has been enormous, so they're more like chapters, I guess. But yeah, okay. Hopefully, see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.